What is going on, YouTube? Pass the Prop back here again. We're here for an early Wednesday edition today. Joined as always by my guy Stu. How we doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, obviously. A little earlier than normal, but, got to do what you got to do when you got a busy slate, a busy day. It's, sometimes best to be up here with the Roosters. So definitely excited to get those plays out. Obviously, got a big slate today. Got some day game action, even a doubleheader sneaking in there as well. So definitely got some plays ready to go. Excited for the slate. And, I think we got some winners.
Yeah, no, it's a slate. We got we got a couple rainouts made up today. We got really weird for a Wednesday slate to be just this loaded backside, right? I'm not saying it's not a good slate. I'm saying used to Wednesdays being able to watch baseball early, and now we don't have that really today outside of a couple games. So should be fun. Obviously, looking forward to making some more money today.
100%. And I was looking through. That's why I kept going big slate. I didn't say it's a great slate, because it's there's some interesting matchups. We don't quite have like some of the top end guys across the board, but that's some good money making opportunities in those games where we have some of the more below average pitchers.
Yeah, it's we see some garbage. We see a couple decent guys out there. Obviously, the Corbin Burns, Imanaga probably sticks out the most for high-end guys. But let's recap our little reverse sweep action there. Who would have thought, man? We had Abrams run score. The Nationals didn't even score, right? They got shut out by Miles Michaelis.
By Miles freaking Michaelis. Oh, my God. Yeah, that was a tough game to watch. I mean, I don't know what else to say even beyond getting shut out by Miles Michaelis. That's crazy. I mean, he had some chances, but damn. It's an ugly game.
Yeah, and obviously Flexen started getting hit around. Gave up the first two. He got the first two outs, got to 17, then started struggling. And tough to get out of that one, but it happens. A lot of hard hit baseballs in that game that I expected to kind of get through. And even yesterday, like I was pulling up like some StatCast numbers on some of these swings, and like Adolis Garcia, I had yesterday in that Rangers game. I had the Rangers as my biggest bet yesterday for team total. 108 mile an hour, and it's a line drive out. It's just line drive to shortstop. I'm like 2 inches anywhere, and it's a hit. So that's how baseball rolls. That's why it's so hard to cap, and why we got to kind of enjoy where we're at there. So it moves us to 17, 38, 39. We had no long shots last time. I'm not going to have one today. But I got to get my last little bad beat one out here yesterday. I had the Red Sox top team score yesterday. The fucking Pirates decide to freaking do it, dude. The Pirates do it. I think they might have tied, actually. I have to check. I haven't looked at any of myself in my account today. So, but yeah, it was who would have thought that, man? And it all came after like an error because I had Colin Rea under 2.5 earned runs and gives up a single and then an error, and then the whole entire floodgates fall off and they just give up like 8 runs in anything. So that's baseball for you.
Yeah, and I mean, after the first couple innings, I mean, that Boston one almost looked like a lock there. That game got going fast. So that game was priced like it was a Coors game too. Like I went to go bet on Duran, and it was like minus 130 for 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I was like, oh God, like I didn't even think we were at that level yet, but definitely priced appropriately in that one for sure.
For sure. And we have a decent slate to talk about here. We might as well get right into it. Do we have any games sticking out to you today, Stu? We got about 8-9 people in here trickling in here on the early slate. What are you looking at?
I think for me, it's got to be the Cubs-Orioles game. I mean, that's the one that sticks out. We got Shota on the mound. We got Corbin on the mound. We got two of the best pitchers out there. And also Shota, it's been a little bit more back and forth over these last couple starts. Been a little bit more human as opposed to when he first came around. So I'm kind of curious. Like I was on the Orioles kind of heavy yesterday, but like not as a team, but some of their batters. And it turned out pretty well. But it's like I don't know if I want to go back to the well against Shota, even if he has been struggling a little bit recently. It's still a very tough and a very unique matchup for a very young team, especially. So curious how they handle that. I think it'll be an entertaining game. I love getting those pitchers duel, so I think that's got to be my favorite game on the slate. Definitely the big screen for sure.
For sure, I like it. I don't really know, man. There's a lot of garbage can games. Like if I'm talking about garbage can games, I like that Frankie Montas, Kyle Freeland, like in one of the best hitting parks, in the league. I like that one for a shit show game. I also think that if I was going to look at a game that I kind of like actually think could be pretty good, would be that Mariners Padres game. I'm a big Bryce Miller guy. I really like him. Padres don't strike out much. And then you go to Michael King, who's kind of had some struggles lately. He's had some pop-off games, but I mean, it's the best matchup in the world here because they can't put the ball in play against righties. So, brutal spot all the way around here. So, I think that we could see Michael King go for 20. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets double-digit Ks today. And with a guy who's been struggling this much, you look at the strikeout props on this dude. Like the books know they've been probably beat too much by these strikeout props against the Mariners. He is 5-1 to lead the slate in strikeouts. On a slate this big, he is 5-1. It goes 5-1, and then Pavetta 5.5-1 because he's facing Oakland after Brian Bayo just got 11 Ks yesterday. So crazy numbers on these lines here.
Yeah, I almost don't like that on these huge slates. I don't like that most Ks as much because, like you said, like, are you really betting these guys at 5-1? Like maybe it opens up more value down the board, but obviously we know how bad some of these teams are in the strikeout department, so it just kind of completely takes it away. So, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be betting either of those guys, but it's kind of hard to bet that market when it still is a very good matchup for them.
Yeah, no, for sure, and that's the thing is like. The Mariners strike out so much. It's just, I've watched a couple of Michael King starts, and he just kind of, he just throws too many pitches in some of these innings. It's just like when you're looking for these guys to be running up 10, 12 Ks, you're only getting through 5 1/3. Like you're needing some pretty big boy numbers there. So, let's get into it here, Stu. Let's get it going. And I picked this guy up in fantasy about 2 months back, and he's been inserted in the starting lineup and been absolutely awesome for me.
Oh, yeah. No, we're going Josh Smith over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, -125. I mean, I kind of talked about it earlier in the year. I like the end of that Rangers lineup last year, and he was part of that. But obviously, if you keep playing well, you learn how to hit lefties a little bit better, and suddenly you're not a platoon player anymore. You're getting there every day at the top of the order. And obviously, that's one of the things we always talk about with the hits, runs, RBI market is that you don't just want a guy that can get a homer or get the total bases. You want to be looking at what's going on around him, and obviously having Seager up there, Simeon, like Lowe behind him. I mean, so many of these guys. Langford, who's playing very well right now, and someone I'll probably bet as well tonight. Maybe in a hit parlay, maybe a little home run sprinkle. I was talking about that in the Discord a little bit last night. But I think overall, there's a lot of protection around him in this lineup, both in front of him and behind him. I mean, he's been really at the core of the lineup. I mean, hitting that 2-3 spot a lot over these last couple weeks, which is obviously something you want to see. And also something that it feels like you don't get the 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs for guys at the core of a lineup unless they're, more unproven names, which Smith is. But he's been playing very well. Obviously 13th in the league, batting average 296 so far coming in. And what I like is the matchup against Canning, who's been, okay on paper, if you want to call it that, close to 5 ERA. It's not been a great season, to be completely honest. But when you go over to the Baseball Savant, right, it doesn't get any worth. 9th percentile K, 25th and under in xERA, x batting average, slugging. Like, the guy's getting hit around, but the advanced stats aren't really showing much of a reason for that to turn around. And I mean, even if you don't go to the advanced stats, you just look at his base game log. He's pitched 98 innings so far this year. He has 99 hits allowed. And he has, I think, 67 strikeouts in those 99 innings. The guy's not missing bats. He's just not. And for this Rangers lineup, I think that's a good matchup, especially when he goes up to 289 against left-handed batters, almost 500 slugging on the season. He's struggling against the lefties in the lineup. And obviously, we know the Rangers are going to throw a bunch of them at you at the top of that order, and then mix in some really good righties, like Adolis, obviously, like Langford at the top. So I love the protection he has. He's over in 7 of his last 10. We have some good form coming in right here. Canning on the other side too. I saw he's given up a homer in 5 straight games, 9 of his last 10 starts. It's just one of those things where he's going to give you the opportunity to hit it. And I like this lineup right here. I like the opportunity around him. I already mentioned I'm probably going to go to a couple guys in this one, but I think lefties are what obviously jump off the page. And I mentioned Smith now isn't getting pinch hit for either as well, which was something that actually happened last year against lefties. This year he's bumped up, hitting over 300 against lefties. So looking really good against both sides of the plate. Cannon throws a lot of pitches, so it's hard to kind of break down the pitch splits that much. But across the board, I mean, he's hitting them pretty well. Only thing he's really struggling with is that changeup, which he's hitting around 220. But everything else, we're in that 300 range, which is exactly what you're looking for. Crushes the sinker at 400. Don't want to give him one of those down the middle. So love Smith, love the top of this order. Just hit a bomb yesterday. Maybe he's feeling a little bit, should have been in that all-star conversation a little bit more than he was. I think the numbers bear it out. Obviously, just the name value isn't quite there. So a little chip on your shoulder, something to prove. Great matchup right here. I really like this play at -125.
Yeah, I even hit a dinger last night too. So, I mean, he's obviously feeling pretty good. But yeah, I like Josh Smith, man. The dude swipes bases for me, hits bombers, gets the ribbies, in that 3-hole, he's not your typical 3-hole hitter, So when you have guys like Nate Lowe who have been in that spot, Adolis who's batted 3 before, to see them still play them when they're both healthy is testament to them. So, and obviously how well he's been playing. So, like that spot, I'm going to be going to good old reliables, getting to throw on the same day. Unfortunately, I didn't get Miles Michaelis on the same day as Corbin this week, but we do get Logan Webb on that day and Logan Webb at home. Again, I'm just going to keep rolling with these guys, the guys that have made me money in these certain spots. So I am very happy to see Logan Webb at home against his Blue Jays lineup. Against righties so far this year, 2.9 FIP. He's got 2.54 FIP against lefties, so obviously very good against both sides of the plate. But for me, there's just not enough power in this Blue Jays lineup. There really isn't, and especially to hit it out of San Francisco. Like San Francisco is another animal. We just saw Yusei Kikuchi just go out there and dice these dudes for 11 strikeouts. Obviously, Logan Webb getting to throw against this Blue Jays team who didn't do anything on the other side, right? There really wasn't anything happening against Snell, and Snell even walked how many dudes in that game as well. First game back off of an IL stint with the groin. So he's been out for a while, or Blake Snell was out for a while and then came back and still, I think, only gave up 1 run in that game. So I'm fine with going against this Jays lineup. Also, they just not been swinging the bat well over the last 30 days. 688 OPS, not great. That's 26 games being covered in that spot. And I understand you look at underlying numbers, you can see that Logan Webb has a 4.12 xFIP. He's got a 49% hard hit rate, which a lot of that goes straight into the ground, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he doesn't get hurt by a lot of this stuff where when you look at it, talking about the Savant page, you look at those where it's like, oh my God, he's getting hard hit really, like he's getting smoked. Like, he's giving up a lot of hard contact. Well, the dude still only has a 7.9% barrel rate. So it's not like these guys are like lifting the ball and he's not getting the ball off the ground. At home, I've talked about this a few times, 65% ground ball rate at home so far this year. That is absurd. That is absolutely absurd. And if you do put the ball in the air and that 35%, you got to hit it a very long way to get it out of San Francisco. So I think this is a great spot. Obviously, Logan Webb's number is carrying this quite a bit because Patrick Corbin not to win is always towards a little more juice. And obviously against the Mets, who have just been kind of a steamroll engine right now offensively, I don't want to get in front of them. So I think we could see Corbin not even go through 5 innings in this spot. So I'm good with rolling with Webb and Corbin in this one.
Yep, and another good thing for Corbin, obviously, if you didn't even have enough already, is the bullpen, once again, is tired. So you're getting the B bullpen, right? You're getting like a Tanner Rainey who hasn't pitched in like 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So even if Corbin somehow does manage that lead, it's not like you can even trust the bullpen to keep the lead after. And I like what you said on the Logan Webb part, too, about kind of contextualizing the hard hit rate with the ground ball percentage. I think that's been one of the biggest things I've looked at this year in terms of home runs, is really focusing on that like fly ball rate, right? Which guys are giving up the line drives, which guys can't get that ground ball rate up, right? And everything's being elevated, because that's so important to look at. And it's important to, like you said, contextualize with a guy like Logan Webb, who it may make him look a little bit worse on paper, but when you actually kind of put everything together, you realize that's just the style of pitcher he is. And I think it's very applicable across the board for like batter props and stuff. Like if you're just looking at exit velos and stuff like that, You'd think my guy over in DC, James Wood, might be the best player of all time. He's hit every ball 110 miles an hour. They've been straight into the ground every single time. You know what I mean? So you really got to be looking at the fly ball rate, the ground ball rate. Another guy in DC, Eddie Rosario. He popped every day on my before he got cut. He popped every day on the fly ball rate chart that I was looking at. He was in like 60% fly ball, which is a crazy number, by the way. Even guys that are swinging for the fences aren't there. The problem is every single thing was like an infield pop-up or like a deep pop-up. Even the barrel rate was popping sometimes, but there were no homers coming about it. So it's important to not just kind of focus in on one of those stats, hard hit rate, blah, blah, blah. It's good to kind of put the puzzle together right there. And I'm glad you brought it up for this prop especially because love the combo right here at close to plus money.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I know. The price was kind of nuts for me. So, all right, so let's recap here. 15 minutes. You got it in at the right time. We got to go on here. So talk about that, and then I don't think we have long shots, but we'll talk.
Sounds good. We got Josh Smith over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs of the Rangers, minus 125 over on 365.
Beautiful. And I'll be on the Logan Webb, Patrick Corbin combo today. So you got anything else? You got long shot thoughts? You got anything that you want to talk about here? I don't this early in the morning. Unfortunately, when we do these early shows, it's tough to really talk about those and get anything going on the long shot range, but anything you want to say?
Yeah, no, I don't have any long shots locked in. I think, like I said, I kind of like Langford Homer just because, man, he's got a little bit of steam going, but I might switch that to like an RBI parlay and just go with an RBI instead. But I'll keep you guys updated. I'll post over on Twitter and in Discord and all that stuff. So I think that's it for me today. But like I said, still more to come over on Twitter. It's obviously very early, 9:27. I think we both got props that are going to get a little bit more juiced over the course of the day. So we appreciate you guys that joined us here early. If you got any questions, you can drop them in the comments. Like I said, a lot to look forward to. A lot of plays coming from me. I'm gonna have some NFL stuff coming this week as well. So definitely, keep your calendars open. We got some good stuff coming.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely coming quick too. It's already July. It's crazy, man. So hopefully everything keeps rolling here. I know this is the kind of getting those dog days, where you're just like, oh, baseball here, baseball here, baseball here. And yeah, hopefully we can continue to cash for you guys and make you guys some money. So thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you. If you got any questions, we have all day to answer them. So drop them in the chat. And hopefully we'll get to everything you guys are bringing up here, especially on a big slate like today. So thank you guys. Best of luck on your bets today. And we'll see you Friday. Have a good one, guys.